Colin, where is our guest today?
I have no idea. I have no idea.
You have no idea. You are the guest. Yeah. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to our special edition of CEO Talks. Is the last one of this season. Then we'll go for summer holidays as well. Let's see where we will go. Maybe from the living room to the kitchen and the other way around, and maybe until down the corner. Colin, today you are the guest, and I really thank you very much for the honor to talk about you. I do believe that without you, this edition of CEO Talks wouldn't be that successful, and I really appreciate you as a professional and more as my personal friend for so many years. I have a background here about Colin Loverin, but I would like to give you the floor and the opportunity to say a few things about yourself. What have you been doing so far in your career, and what brings you in Romania over the last, I don't know, 12 years, 10, 12 years. Yeah, that's about it. Let's see.
Okay. Okay, well, potentially could be a long story with my ripe old age, but just very, very briefly, I actually started my life in a very creative way. I wanted to go into the graphic design world, and eventually I actually got a job when I was a student in a packaging company, and eventually evolved into doing packaging design for a company, and that kind of started off my career in the packaging business. And fast forward, I spent about 20 years of my career in that industry, in a sort of a development role, and then got into a sales position, which was quite successful for me. I actually won 2 European awards for sales excellence in that sales career. Wow. Of mine, and that kind of triggered me on to, they asked me to move to France and take on a role of being a sales trainer for the European operation. And then from that, they shipped me off to the USA, where I lived for a couple of years, doing the global operation for the company. So it's really sort of a successful sales career, then going into the sales training, where I really got the appetite for what I'm sort of doing now. And then back, it was 12 years ago, actually. I did a couple of projects here with some companies, and so word got out, and I got called back again. As you know, me and you worked, you were in fact, when I set up the business here, you were my 001 invoice.
Number one.
Yeah. Took a while to get it paid, but no, I'm joking.
Yeah, okay.
So that was it. And that was the start of falling in love with Romania. And, it was at a time just after the crisis, or around the crisis, and I saw the opportunity. I was very welcomed very quickly, and it just became a natural place, like for yourself and like most of the expats who settled down here. So for the last 12 years, I've had a consultancy business where I've just been helping companies perform better, predominantly in their sales and communication and management. I've been working with various companies. I should mention sort of one of the key ones is COS, where I'm sat right now, called Profit Solutions, where I'm working with the sales team here and just helping them to develop their business, but working with other people as well. And then in January, I joined forces with another old friend of mine, Oliver Perkins, with Brainovate, and that's kind of what I'm doing right now.
Lovely. You keep yourself busy in this lovely country during these turbulent times and these difficult times, I would say. So you had an artistic background. That's why you are performing very well on what you are doing, I think, and you are creative, and you have this passion on putting very positive energy, which my good friend, this is what I really like about you, the very positive energy and the impact you are leaving on people. talking about the crisis now, we had a series of several interviews. I don't know, 2, 6, around 10, 12. I don't even remember the number by heart. Some of them, they were really, all of them, of course, we would like to thank them. They were all C-level people or founders or partners of the organizations they are leading. Very, very good leaders. What are some of the lessons that you remember out of the of all the interviews we talk about? Some of them, they were really nice lessons, and even myself, I recognize that.
Well, I think that's the beauty of doing these things. You know, even in my role as a trainer, I probably learn something new every day, and that's the refreshing part. And I think doing these interviews, it's been a pleasure and an honor to do them with you. But I think we both learned a lot from the experiences. You know, and I cast my mind way back to Dimitris from Adama. You know, when he talked about this war room concept of how to cope through the crisis. I think about Andreas Stănescu from London Stock Exchange, which was very strong on the benevolence and on the care of your people, which was really, really important. And I think George Tivorescu talked about the you know, communicating to your people, get your people involved in the plan. You know, these are all things that I've given as advice to other people, and I think, you know, Bob Deman was very insightful in terms of talking about how you need to take, you know, I think he said take a step down as a CEO, yeah, and really take away the title CEO and just be one of the team and really show good, strong leadership from within. And I guess one of my favorite ones was Deanna Stuffy, who talked about foresight, and I've been sort of sharing that with a lot of people about, you know, we talk about hindsight and we have regrets or wish I'd done that, but I think her lesson is use that hindsight as part of your looking forward, but also make sure you create two or three different avenues, different plans, so when something goes wrong or doesn't work well, you've got plan B, you've got plan C, etc. So as I said, I think me and you and hopefully all of the listeners really learned something from that. What about you? What was the sort of some of the highlights for you?
I agree with you. All the leaders or our guests, they talk about never let a crisis go wasted, and take advantage and take it to your advantage, and take it to the advantage of the organization you are representing or on the society. And all of us, we need to learn from this, and have the agility and the adaptability as well to move forward. I do agree with you. I took a note on what you have said. I remember also Luke from Development Aid saying that number one is to have more cash, because practically you need to have money to survive in these turbulent times. I like as well a lot the Bob Deman, and Bob is a former McKinsey, and his leadership style is indeed a bit different, and seeing himself first of all as a humble man, to go down to all the levels from bottom up and top down approach all together, in order to ensure that things are done properly during these crisis times. Colin, you mentioned in your introduction that now you have with a friend of yours collaboration on Renovate, this creative leadership. Tell us a few things more, so our viewers can understand exactly what is about this, and what exactly you do, and what are the objectives there.
Yeah, sure. I think the first thing is probably, you know, one of the greatest pleasures that I have in my professional career is you know, I mentioned about helping companies perform better, but digging down deeper than that. I think it's individuals. You know, when I have the pleasure of seeing an individual that I've worked with who's achieved what they want to achieve, or got that order they wanted to get, I think that's the biggest satisfaction I got. And I think that's one of the core reasons and values of working with Brainovate, is because they're doing exactly that. So I'm kind of really, you know, pushing the limits a little bit further. So Brainovate was actually born around creative leadership and legacy leadership, which is one of their sort of founder programs. And it really sort of digs deep into leadership, because I think it's leadership takes a completely different set of skills. And I think most leaders, when people become a leader, they kind of, the first few months is okay because you're riding the crest of the wave, and then suddenly hit this brick wall and then realize that, you know, leadership is much more than what you think. And I think that's one of the bits I'm really sort of keen on working with Oliver at Brainovate on his legacy leadership program. And he's just written a book called Revealing the Leader Within. So that's the core of Brainovate. But what's happened is it branched out into lots of other areas. And I guess the best way to describe it is a recent initiative called the Perfect 10, where we've kind of recognized the 10 biggest, most important competencies that we all have as leaders. And that leader can be any individual, young or old. You know, going forward, what you really need to be focused on. So like motivation, agility and effectiveness, presentation, inclusion, diversity, emotional intelligence, which is a huge subject right now, and of course the leadership, coaching, mentoring. And then what I've been asked to do is to set up a we call it Business Performance Academy. We're fine-tuning the name at the moment, but basically it's going to be take all the work that I've done in the past and really put that into a professional body where we can actually reach out to organizations and again continue this sort of mission of mine of just helping companies and individuals perform. So that's basically Brainovate. It's a growing animal, basically.
Wow, sounds very, very interesting. When you was talking, you mentioned about a book, and I grabbed this opportunity to bring some insight now to our viewers. The other day we were talking, you told me that are you writing a book? You are writing a book currently.
I am indeed. You know, we could call it the bucket list, I guess. It's something that my dear late brother Simon told me years ago. Why didn't you write a book? Because I'm continually sharing tips and tricks and learning new tips and tricks and sharing them with people. And he said, you should put it all down in a book, put it down in a book. And for whatever reason, I never got around to doing it until recently. I mentioned Oliver again. Oliver was the influence who said, do it. And I guess I just needed that little bit of extra encouragement. So I'm now frantically writing away some 1,000 words as we produce this video, and I'll be doing another couple of thousand over the weekend, and then hopefully in 2 or 3 months' time we'll be getting it published. It's going to be called, we think, A Day in the Life of Amazing Salespeople. So it's really going to be a very practical guide, like a before and after. You know, what a lot of people are doing, but what amazing salespeople are doing, how you can really make that difference in your profession, basically, which sales is a very old profession, probably one of the oldest professions out there, isn't it? So that's what I'm doing. So thanks for mentioning it, and wish me luck. I hope it all comes forward nicely.
Very good luck, Colin, and I'm looking forward to read and buy your book. And possibly what we will do is during autumn, when we will restart again our new edition from autumn onwards, sometime maybe towards Christmas time in the winter, we can have another talk about your book. And
love that. Yep.
And of course, after I will read it also myself, and I will have the knowledge and the things that you are writing there in order for me to stand by you to have a dialogue on this. Bravo. These are very, very good news that I hear, my good friend. As a conclusion, what you would like to say to our viewers for the summer and taking away from this special edition?
Well, the first thing I would do is I think for everybody, if you haven't watched all of the videos, watch them. You know, grab a glass of wine or a glass of water and sit down and enjoy that, because there is some great, insightful information there. And I think the main message that came through from everybody, I don't think we had one single person that was pessimistic. Everybody had this air of optimism that if we do the right things, if we remain humble, if we listen to people and care for our people, there is, as one person said, an opportunity here for us to be, and I think it's fair to say that, Mamas. I think we've all learned something about our own personal relationships with family. You have family overseas, I have family overseas, and Zoom and these other platforms have really sort of brought us very close. It hasn't been that occasional phone call. It's been some really in-depth conversations and a few tears and all of the things. And I think that has made us learn about relationships in business. So I don't think we're going to have the false networking sort of stuff. Hey, good to see you, whatever. That's no sincerity. It's going to be genuine. How are you? How's the family? So I think you know, the culture is changing, the world is changing, but the way we do business will change. And I think it's going to be good. It's going to be good.
I totally agree with you. Adaptability and agility is the name of the game. Indeed, all the leaders we had in our CEO talks, they talk about their families and protecting their families either in Romania or overseas, as you said, and they extend this protection also to their business and the people they are working with, and this is a very big lesson, and that's where I believe the success and the positiveness of these business leaders is. Because they treat their people as their own family, which is in reality it should be, and it cannot be go wrong. And generally we need to take advantage of any crisis and not let it go wasted. Colin, I would like to thank you here a lot. I would like to thank all the people which we hosted, and you did the moderation. We will see each other again in autumn with a new edition. And I would like to thank also Vikram for putting up all the logistics and making this happening. Bravo, Vikram. Well done. Ladies and gentlemen, see you all soon. Have a nice summer. Enjoy as much as possible. Stay safe. Wear masks. Please obey and follow the rules of the people. And see you and talk to you soon.
Thanks, Mamas.
Thank you, Colin.